The Toolmaker's Folly. The rise and fall of Shango's son. In the land of the Orishas, where faith and craftsmanship intertwined, there lived a man who was both gifted and flawed. He was the son of Shango, the Orisha of thunder, fire, and justice. His lineage was one of power and divine influence, but his life was marked by a love for revelry and a carelessness that would one day become his undoing. This man had a unique gift. He was a master toolmaker, revered for crafting sacred implements used in ceremonies honoring the Orishas Olokun, Dada, and Abanari. His tools were works of art, imbued with spiritual significance and made with unmatched skill. Clients trusted him completely, often paying him in advance to create these sacred items. Yet, despite his talent, Shango's son was unreliable. He spent his days working only half-heartedly, and his nights indulging in festivities. The rhythm of the bata drums called to him, and the allure of lively gatherings outweighed the demands of his craft. The unfinished projects began to pile up. When he did work, he often stayed up late into the night, only to abandon his tools and rush off to the next celebration. The breaking point. The villagers, once enamored by his skill, began to grow weary of his excuses. Whispers of dissatisfaction spread through the community. "He takes our money and never finishes on time," they said. "His talent is wasted on his irresponsibility." These complaints grew louder until they reached the ears of Shango's son. Realizing his reputation was at stake, he decided to bring in an apprentice. This young assistant would help manage the growing backlog of work, or so the toolmaker hoped. However, even with the apprentice's help, the situation did not improve. Clients continued to visit the workshop, only to find that their orders were still incomplete. The apprentice, loyal and hardworking, bore the brunt of their anger. Each day, he endured complaints and scoldings meant for his master. Yet, despite his frustration, he could not wake the toolmaker from his habitual slumber or convince him to change his ways. The apprentice's rebellion. One day, the apprentice could endure no more. He approached the toolmaker and declared, "I can no longer bear the weight of your irresponsibility. Every day, I face the anger of the villagers for work you have failed to complete. I refuse to stay here any longer." Rather than reflecting on his actions, Shango's son dismissed the apprentice with a wave of his hand. "If you cannot handle it, then leave," he said. The apprentice left, determined to forge a new path. Though he was not a master craftsman, he decided to open his own shop, selling tools rather than making them. He understood the value of reliability and respect, and ran his business with these principles. The villagers, disillusioned by Shango's son, turned to the apprentice. Though his tools were not as intricate or spiritually refined, they were delivered on time and with care. His business flourished while the toolmaker's workshop fell silent. The toolmaker's fall. As orders ceased and his wealth dwindled, Shango's son became consumed by bitterness and despair. He grew ill, both in body and spirit, and convinced himself that the apprentice had cursed him. Desperate for answers, he sought the wisdom of Òrúnmìlà, the divine sage of Ifa. Sitting before Òrúnmìlà, the toolmaker poured out his woes. "My former apprentice has done witchcraft against me," he said. "It is the only explanation for my misfortune." Òrúnmìlà, calm and wise, examined the man's situation. After a moment of silence, he spoke. "Your suffering is not the result of witchcraft, but of your own actions. The villagers have lost faith in you because of your irresponsibility. Their words, their disappointment, and their anger have tarnished your name. What you are experiencing is the consequence of the trust you squandered." The toolmaker listened, his heart heavy with regret. Òrúnmìlà continued, "You must perform an ebo, sacrifice, to cleanse yourself of the negative energy surrounding you. This will restore your health, but it will not repair the damage to your reputation. If you wish to regain what you have lost, you must change your ways and earn back the trust of those you have wronged." The lesson of responsibility. The toolmaker performed the ebo as instructed, but his journey toward redemption was long and difficult. The apprentice, meanwhile, continued to thrive, his business growing with each passing day. This story of Shango's son teaches us a powerful lesson. Talent alone is not enough to ensure success. Without responsibility, integrity, and respect for others, even the most gifted among us can fall into ruin. The apprentice, though less skilled, succeeded because he valued trust and reliability, qualities that Shango's son had taken for granted. Through this tale, we are reminded that our actions shape our destiny. A tarnished reputation is not easily repaired, but humility and dedication can lead to redemption. The toolmaker's folly serves as a cautionary tale for all who are blessed with talent. Honor your commitments, respect those who rely on you, and never take your gifts for granted. And so, the story of the Toolmaker's Folly leaves us with a powerful lesson. Talent may open doors, but it is responsibility and integrity that keep them open. Shango's son had the gift of a master craftsman, yet his disregard for commitment led to his downfall. On the other hand, the apprentice, though less skilled, understood the value of trust and reliability, and that made all the difference. This tale reminds us that success is not just about what we can do, but about how we treat others along the way. In our own lives, let's remember to honor our commitments, respect the trust others place in us, and always strive for balance between our gifts and our actions. Thank you for joining me in exploring this Yoruba tradition. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more lessons and insights from the rich tapestry of Yoruba culture. Until next time, stay inspired and let these stories guide your path. Ash!